2020 is like the perfect vision. You know, it's time to focus in on everything in life. You know, you take a perspective on everything. A lot of times I feel like people can get distracted or get stuck just based on the everyday life, right? So you actually have the potential to be making 150, $200,000 a year. Meanwhile, you're stuck in the same routine every day, showing up to a job that you're miserable at, that you're not happy, where you're mistreated by coworkers, owners, where you could actually be owning your own business, have a peace of mind, and have like a daily routine. And that's what we're talking today. We're talking with Shirley Velasquez, who is an entrepreneur, who is right now in the midst of starting, creating, and establishing the foundation for her upcoming business. And that's what we're going to be talking about as right now, in the moment, in real time, right now as we speak. She is on her computer, she's typing, she's working, she's got a plan in action. So the first question that I want to have for you, Shirley, and sorry to interrupt you while you're working, I know that you're a person that has a schedule, a routine, and that's something that's very important to teach to your viewers, right, and your listeners in regards to building that foundation. So first and foremost, the first question that I have for you is why?
I usually ask why.
Why are you doing this? Why are you going against the grid? Why are you just, you've had your years of experience of working for other people, collecting a paycheck, going home, taking care of your kids. Why?
Because I did work for a company, $1 million company, just as and so I just answer the phone, but just even the simplest task of answering a doctor's office phone calls and taking messages and all that was so stressful for me because there were people there that were made the workplace really hostile for me, and it made me sick to the point where I was, I had stomach issues and I have post-traumatic stress disorder. So it triggered some stuff, and I started getting anxiety. And my husband and I decided not to, for me to stay home because my disorder and how anxiety really attacks my body.
Okay, can you give us some examples of the type of things that you were dealing with in this work environment?
Well, there was this one lady there who had a birthmark on her face, and she and I were cool, and these women decided to make a book of her, a cartoon, pretty much bullying this grown woman. And those are just the little things that I witnessed in the short period of time that I worked there, because they had worked there years. And everyone that's new that they didn't like or whatever, they'll make their work environment hell. So I was witness to that, and being the person that I am, I care too much about people that it really made me sick to watch these people hurt other women the way they were hurting her.
Wow, so you mean to tell me you come from this hardworking family, this environment where everybody in your family is a team, uplifts each other, things of that nature, and because you just wanted to do, I guess what we call the American dream, where you go out, you find a job, right? You go to college, you get educated, you get this job, you work for, whoever who is stacking up the millions and billions or the hundreds of thousands or whatever it may be, right? And you joined a team, you said, you know what? Because in life, there's all different type of personalities. So we're not trying to turn everybody into an entrepreneur, right? We're not trying to turn everybody into open up. If that would be great if everybody could do that, but there's different personalities. There's people that are great secretaries. Mm-hmm. There's people that are great on the phone. There's people that are great. And in order to have a business, right, you have to have these people, right? Mm-hmm. You have to have people.
You need a team.
You need a team. So this is not about, trying to discourage anybody or downplay or put anybody down that does work for anybody, but for you, okay, jumping into this atmosphere and having to deal with now people that you started to gain love for, respect for, liking to, now having to deal with having a conversation about how they felt because of the way that they were being treated by other coworkers and made fun of and bullied. How did that affect you?
Well, I know I didn't want to work for an organization that allowed that type of things to happen. I went to HR and all that stuff, and I tried to shed light into what was happening. And what I got out of it was put your bigger opinion on. It's not about you, because it wasn't directly happening to me. But I was trying to tell her that it's still affecting me because of the type of person that I am. I have a big heart, and I know that. I wear my heart on my sleeve. God has given me discernment to be able to protect that because of that, I had endured a lot of pain and suffering in my life. And with that came depression. And that stigma I also want to end the stigma of mental health. We're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with us. Just like there's a person missing one chromosome and that makes her or him have Down syndrome. Maybe I just have something off, but it doesn't make me any different than anybody. And I just want to end the stigma of mental health and show women, men, that we could overcome.
So you're saying, which is really interesting, that there could be different environments that you're put in that trigger this stuff, that make it even worse.
Yeah.
Right. So here you are, you're living your normal life, everything is good with you, and then you're thrown into this situation, right? This work environment, which is cutthroat, hostile, just nasty. You're thinking you're going to a good working environment because you're working for a doctor, right? A big office, whatever the case may be. And this is a doctor's office that's growing, right? That's just building buildings all over. Now, we're not going to get into details, into names and things of that nature, because it's not really necessary. But just imagine doctors' offices that are just opening all over the area under a certain name. So can you talk about what that environment did to a condition that maybe you didn't even know that you had, or something that you didn't even know that you had to deal with, but being thrown into this situation brought that?
Yeah, well, one thing I was, I did have depression since about the age of 14, and that was due to a past sexual abuse, and I didn't know how to deal with. But when that happened, being put into that environment just magnified my depression and just made it more real that this life sucked, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. That when I did work there, I did attempt suicide, and talking about it now is hard because I don't ever want to feel that again. And once I saw how hurt my family was and how I am loved, and that what I was telling myself in my head that they'll be better off was just all a lie to try to steal this blessing that God has given me in my life, which is to be in remission of depression. Since starting my walk with God, He has helped me deal with my depression, and now I'm free from depression.
This is crazy to me because when you really start talking about to be successful, you have to be surrounded by the right people. You literally have to get rid of people. You literally had to realize that as much and you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy. How excited you were about that job. How you thought your life was going to change. How you wanted to be a part of something that even help them open up more offices, right? Get a whole staff under Shirley, right? That become a trainer, right?
I was
you were yo, I'm all in. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into...
That's how I live my life. I don't do things half-assed. God has given me a spirit of obedience And when I get excited about something, I jump right into it and want to know more and more. I dig deep till I can't dig no more.
So that's what you're doing now, and that's the answer to the question that we first asked, your why. So your why, based on the conversation that we just had, is to change the game.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about your why.
I want to give voice to the voiceless or feel that they're voiceless. I want you to come to the master plan God has for me, and come and leave feeling rejuvenated, feeling empowered, feeling better than when you came and sat in my chair. I want to not just transform you from the physical, but from within. To show your soul who you are. We are all God's children. The pastor said yesterday, God doesn't have any grandkids. And I want to be able to share that with as many people as God has in store for me.
Wow, that's powerful. You know, one of the reasons why I'm even like honored to just do this interview, because there's one thing that I can't stand, right? And that's like following after someone that's just telling a story but hasn't lived it, that hasn't been through it. Like, obviously, you're doing what you're doing and you're the position that you're in because of life experiences. Mm-hmm. And just to get the people that are the viewers that are watching this video right now, a little update. You went from a 2-bedroom apartment, okay, in Imperial, in Middletown, New York, to stepping up and saying, you know what? I'm not going to be paying anybody else's mortgage. I don't care if it's a condo in Scottstown, on Patio or Greenway, but I'm going to own that piece of property. It's going to be mine. Okay? You left a relationship in which was not healthy either, where most people would have stayed, and you knew that you deserve better for yourself. Mm. And you knew that you can get better. And you let go of that relationship, in which was not easy.
It was hard.
You had a whole family that was against you for doing this.
Yeah, because I had babies.
You had babies, and you said, no, my kids deserve better. I deserve better. Mm. You shacked back up with your family and your mother in one of these condos on Greenway and Patio, eventually owned one of them, are now renting to a beautiful family that's been renting for you for years. Brought the property that you live in now, gave all your children their own room, big space to share with your family, to host, to do all this stuff. And on top of that, have purchased 2 other houses, flipped those, sold them to other people, and right now, as we speak, you're basically a real estate mogul. Your husband's dream, who is the brains of the operations, who's doing all this, who you've been with for 15 years, raised beautiful children with, are graduating high school this year, doing great academically in a great school, all honor rolls, no issues, no problems. And you're already an entrepreneur in a sense that real estate is the way that in this country you get rich. Real estate is the way that you really build a foundation. So you're already doing that. That's a lot. To grab a house, to strip it down, right, to bare nothing, to put the sheetrock in, to rebuild everything, to have contractors, to do everything that your husband is doing with your assistance, okay, and with you carrying this household. How is it and why is it that you want even more now, that you want to educate people, and that you want to, what is it? Is it health? Is it wellness? What is it exactly that's driving you now to do more? You don't have to do more. No. You can just keep doing what you're doing.
Because we're the ones that put limits on ourselves. And I want to be limitless. So I turned my life over to God. And we all have a purpose. And through that purpose, I am content with being where I am. But I know God has more in store for me, and I don't want to limit myself. And I just want to see how far I am gonna go. I'm taking it one day at a time, one step at a time. Today, I'm working on my vision plan. Today, I'm working on my mission statement. Today, I'm working on my calendar. And tomorrow, I don't know what I'll be doing. But I know I'm one step closer to whatever God has in store for my life.
So this is the key. This is how you and your husband have done this in 15 years. Went from a 2-bedroom apartment renting to now, fast forward 15 years later, raise these children, taking care of them, pretty much provided for them and giving them everything that they've wanted, right? And on top of that, entrepreneurs working. Okay, because now what is that? Why is that important that people don't forget? Sometimes you have to work 2 or 3 jobs to get to your goal. Sometimes somebody has to play the role.
You have to have sacrifice. There's sacrifices to it. And some people are not willing to sacrifice. They'd rather come home after working their 9 to 5 and have a sip of wine and watch TV. Like, no, my husband's coming home and he's going to do a check on that house. And unfortunately, if he's not sleeping in between the jobs, that's something that, hey, we have to do.
You know, Rick Ross has had a recent interview with Steve Harvey. And, you know, Steve Harvey has had a lot of backlash because he once said that millionaires and billionaires don't sleep. So Rick Ross, right, actually was hospitalized. French Montana has recently been but these are just rappers, right? We're just talking. But what's been happening is a lot of criticism has been happening because people are not taking care of themselves because of lack of sleep. And they're all saying, look, Rick Ross said, look, I actually got sick from trying to do a good thing. I just wanted my dream so much that I stayed up later and I woke up earlier than other people. And in order for that to happen, I got less sleep than them. The doctor wanted asking him, like, when's the last time you slept 8 hours? And he didn't remember. And that's what you're touching on right now, right? The fact that it is sleepless nights sometimes.
It is, but you also gotta know yourself and know your body. For me, I know I gotta sleep because I can go into what's called a manic episode because I have bipolar. So just knowing, just that self-awareness, it's not even about sleep. It's self-awareness, getting to know you from within. Okay, why does that trigger you? Why do I have to sleep 8 hours? Why is it okay for my husband to not sleep or run on 3 hours of sleep, but I can't? So just coming to the understanding of knowing your own body, taking care of your own mental health, your own health period, is what's gonna determine how much you can really do.
Wow.
So I know my bedtime, I'm putting my bedtime 10 o'clock so I could get up at 5, so I could get the most of my day. But guess what? If I sleep till 12 o'clock, if I can't sleep and I go to sleep late, 12, I'm not going to jeopardize my sleep. I will wake up whenever I wake up. I'm going to set my alarm.
Okay.
Because my body knows when it's rested or not.
Dope. Okay, so, you know, we touched bases on some of the things that you're doing today. And one of the things that popped out to me was your mission statement. So what exactly are you writing a mission statement to? Can we give the world a little taste of what you're working on next? Okay, so you've tackled real estate. Okay, you guys are doing great and striving in that. And now what? What is it?
I am opening up a spa for people that need a little getaway. Hey, maybe once a month. Or give your spouse an opportunity to bless you with a gift of a day of peace, tranquility, and just a day of relaxation, even if you have children, because I will provide childcare. So my thing, what I'm working on is my mission statement, which I'm calling it my love letters to my love.
So what's a mission statement?
Is my goal for my business. This is my business is. At the end of the day, this is the foundation of my business and why I did it.
So this is big because for everybody out there that's trying to be an entrepreneur, that's trying to start their business, like people don't talk to you. You don't just throw things together. It's very important to write things down, to have an identity, to put it on paper. And that's one of the things that Shirley is teaching right now, that you have to set goals. You have to have a mission statement. You have to have identity. You have to be able to say who you are, what you're doing. And so, just take notes, guys. All right, so tell us a little bit more about your mission statement.
Well, I could read it to you. I'm still like working on the final editing, but this is the raw version. Is I want to invite you to come to a home. I want to invite you to come home and enjoy peace, tranquility, and relaxation. My goal is to provide you with the finest treatment available in a beautiful Zen environment that provides childcare. I want to be able to help you develop a well-rounded, healthy, spiritually lifestyle, or just well-being all around.
Wow. So you mean to tell me I could be a single dad with a baby girl, and I can literally drop her off here and she can hang out for the day, like until it's her turn. Somebody will be watching her.
All the time.
And it's almost like a daycare, but when I pick my daughter back up, she's laced.
Or you want to stay for a haircut? Sit down, bro. We got this.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what, sir? You could use a facial. Come on.
Okay.
Sit down. And look, your daughter's safe right here. You could watch her.
Oh.
So you feel at ease. I want parents. I want dads, moms, whoever. You having a bad week at school because you off in college? Send them a gift card. Have them come. Spend a day of just nails, makeup, whatever is it that you want. My vision is even to have a therapist on staff that can help anyone going through anything. I want a yoga. I want it just to be about peace.
As a father, sometimes, I have my nieces and my nephews. I lay down on the floor and I'm like, yo, just step on my back. How cool would it be if, like...
I want to hire a chiropractor.
Oh, you cut me off. I like it.
I want to hire a masseuse.
I love it.
I want to hire esthetician.
One-stop shop. Barber on deck. Do you know a barber?
My son.
Oh my God.
My daughter is working on nails.
Okay. Family ties, huh? Family business?
It's not even that. I'm building a legacy. It's a legacy. And that's my focus. What legacy am I leaving my children? And it could have been depression, in bed all day, or show them how and appreciate this world for what it is. Yeah, it's a broken world, but we can make the best out of it. And we are in charge of it. I'm not allowing anybody to be in charge of our lives anymore. So
there's a couple elephants in the room that I want to address, right? People probably that are watching it that have known you for some time. And, just questions. First thing that you did was you poured some thing into your cup, and I see some lemons and stuff. So, is that detox water? What's going on? What are you doing?
Well, for the new year, my church does a dinner fast towards the end. I decided to start January 1st. I started decluttering my house, getting rid of stuff that's holding me back. And one of the things that I want to focus on more is my physical health, which is eating healthier and what's going in my body. So now I'm kind of detoxing little by little, not crazy. Maybe I eat one solid like food, but then salads and stuff like that, and just go from there. So it's kind of like fasting in my own way.
What is the point of creating wealth and growth, right? And then when you finally make it, because you're reaping off seeds that you planted years ago. That's another thing people gotta understand, right? You've planted these seeds years ago. You're just harvesting from them now, right? And it's harvest season, right? But harvesting is the hardest part because that's when you gotta get to work. That's when you gotta you can't plant a whole bunch of onions and then have somebody else pick them for you because then that cuts into your profit. That's when you got to put your boots on. You got to get out there and pick them and clean them and sell them. So you're in that harvest season now. And I say that to say this, it's like, why in the world would you plant seeds now that you can't enjoy later because of your health, right? And that's what you're talking about right now. You want to be healthy because you want to be around for the wealth that you're building for the future. There's no point of building an empire if you're not going to keep your body that you need
Facts.
to enjoy it later.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's what's happening with an aunt of mine. You know, our aunt. She's a year younger than my mom, and you know she bust her ass all these years to provide or to try to